Okay, well that last video's uploading. I'm going to keep going. So what I want to show is the magic of these correlating frequencies and how English was the last language, and there was definitely a lot of magic used in this language. It dawned on me how Adam, I was thinking about Madagascar, and Mada is Adam, and then you get gas car. So different things have been popping out at me, but I'm going to keep going here from my last stream. Now, getting into the 7, I'm going to continue talking about the 4 and 5 here. So 7 equals 11 when you do the numerology, right? Being that the V is a 22 it's a 4, right? So the V can also be looked at as the Roman numeral as the 5. So 7 can be looked at as 11 and 3. Okay, we're still recording, good. So when you look at, remember 7 is the completed step to the 3, 6, 9. But anyway, what I see there is I see a 14, which is a 5. In 7, I see 7 as 5 letters, spelled out as 7 as 5 letters. And then in the middle of the 7, we have the V, which is the 5. So you can see the 5 connecting point with the 7. And then the 5, we're dealing with the E and the V as well. But the 2 magical numbers now when we're talking about the 11, so going into the 11 with the E, the 2 magical numbers here, 5 and 6, are the only numbers that have other numbers hidden in them. Well, let me show you what I mean. Like 5 has the 4 hidden in the 5 there, right? 6 has the 9, and if you look at the word 6, it's 3 letters. So the word 6 has 3, 6, 9 right in 6. Alright, let me go back to my notes here. So now when you're looking at this, like I said, the correlating frequencies, here we go. Here's a good one. If you Google the God number, they say 20, which is 2, which is a T. Now, I was thinking about the word expert and how X, this is one I wanted to call into the last Bro Sanchez show. Because when he went into the abracadabra, he showed the symbolism I have, which is like the Dantian, which is the downward triangle of the abracadabra. But then he showed another one, and the other symbol he had, and this was, he looked up abracadabra, I believe, on Wikipedia, and you'll see this other symbol, which is kind of like this in there. I believe it's another form of a cross. So let's get a cross. Okay, let's see. But anyway, the symbol's kind of like that. But where I'm getting at is this right here. I was thinking it's about certain words. X marks a spot. X is the center. And when you look at a bullseye, and when you play darts, X is at the top of the dartboard. If you look at the Roman numeral for X, you have the two X's, which is the compass, right? Ugh, help me, I'm freaking tired. There you go. Yeah, the X. So you get the compass. Or you can look at it like this too. God, am I doing that the right way? Let's look at my notes. So here, what I'm digging at, I don't want to re-record this. We look at words like expert. So X could be like a rept or per, like X per. And when you look at per son, you could also look at like a cat's purr. And you can also look at that as purpose, like it's propose, propose, but its purpose is like your groove, right? So when you're talking about per, X per T, we're dealing with the same symbol that's turned a different way. That also kind of represents the infinity sign, and you see the X in the middle of the infinity sign. And then when you look at these two signs together, right? So you got the X there, and you look at the love sign. You got the V there, V at the top and the V at the bottom. And we're going to the V. V is also in love. V is also 5 and 4. Right? And Eve is 5 and 6. So I might have to go back to that one. But so when you look at that, the expert, another one is X, is like X examine, like X am in. Now X is also like etc., which is ETC, which is like electric. I want to get out one thing while I'm still remembering too. I was talking to a girl in Norway a while ago, and we were talking about the sun and the sunshine, and we were getting into something. But one thing I thought was pretty cool is how the word sunshine in Norwegian is sol. Sol, like your soul, skin. And when you look at the S and the K, the sound sk, sk, is something skipping, sk, sk, or against the wall, sk, for skin, right? And then you got in, sk, in. So there's meanings with these sounds. And then, right now there's a full moon. I know there was one Bro Sanchez show, they're talking about the color of the moon. And another thing I saw too, is when you look at the moon, I deciphered that, I gotta get some more markers. So moon is also Luna, and if you change that around, you can also see Azul, because the N sideways is also a Z, which is, so you got blue right in moon. Another interesting thing about that is you got the L and the U. In Luna, LU is 33. I gotta get back to that one, but when you go to like Lucifer, that's 33 cipher. Cipher is hidden like things that are hidden in the Bible, hidden in speech. So when you go to the 33 cipher, you're dealing with the 6 cipher, right? So this is the 6 cipher. You know they say 666, whatever, but 6 cipher, 6 has 369 right in the word, because you got 3 letters, the Roman numeral, not Roman numeral 9, and the word 6. So you get 6 cipher right in there. I also see Venus and Mars in Adam and Eve, because Venus, we see the Eve in Venus, but Venus is also 7. It's not always how it's spelled, it's also how it sounds, it's also how you see it. But we're getting into these vibrating frequencies and deciphering things that are hidden in front of us and seeing how things relate. It's wild. And I don't fully get it, but I get it when I get it, and it's like 1 foot in the ethereal, like somebody said. I really feel like that sometimes. So we'll get back to that 6. Another interesting thing about the X is also the 24th letter, which is also a 6. Okay, and then we'll get into the XY chromosomes. If you look at ETC for X, like etc. too, that also equals 10, which is an X in the Roman numeral. And then if you look at the word 4, F is 6, which is 6 hour. I don't have that one deciphered fully yet. I just see that. But when you deal with the 5 too, you know how the Roman numeral 4 is in the 5? It's also 4 letters. And like I said, Adam and Eve, how I see that is, I see Mars as the M and the A. SR could be like Sir, Senor, like masculine. And then, you know, Venus is obviously seven. Okay, get too repetitive here. So here I'm going into my notes here. This is deep. Or like I said about the X and the Y chromosome, man, this is really deep. So you're also like I said with the 7, that's the triangle, right? And the 7, you might have that right there. It's the Y. You see the tri. You see the tri. You see the tri in the Y. And this is deep right here. I don't want to go over. I don't want to miss this here. But when you deal with the Y, that's the 25, which is the 7. So when you're dealing with the X, right, that's the 24th letter, which is a 6. Y is the 25th letter, which is a 7. So when you say together, you could also look at that like to get her versus the XX chromosome, which is, you know, also at the top of the dartboard. And okay, so this is deep right here. Going into the 2 C's. So C can be silent as well, because when you look at etc., Connecticut, the C in the middle is not pronounced. So these are deciphering. People could look at it as just take it for what it is, but people that can recognize the patterns and the correlations, you know, gotta be open-minded to see what I'm putting down here. Okay, another thing about Adam and Eve. I know I saw this one too. When you look at Adam, and Eve, we know that Eve, we get evening. In Spanish, la madrugada right? La madrugada means morning. So you see Adam, and you see evening. So we got morning and evening. And now this is deep right here. I hope this keeps recording, so I don't want to miss this. One thing I'm really into is the old cave symbols. And you look at the story of when you look at the story of hang on, I'm trying to figure out what the heck was that I just wrote down. The 6-pointed star, when I talk about the hourglass. God, this shit's so deep. This shit's so fucking deep, man. Talking about the XAMN. So with the 4, how 5 contains the 4. And you know that there's 2 5s that makes the 10, which is the X. The 2 5s. And then when you add that, when you add these 2 arrows from the alphabet going to the middle, which is the M and the N, right? That's the 13th this way, and the 13th this way in the other direction, which is the 4. Remember the 5s, these are sideways V's in the arrow. The 2 5s, which make up the X, also contain the 4, which is in the 13, which goes to the M and the N. Now, if you look at the sideways 3 up and down, that also looks like an M. It also, you can also get the B when you put the 1 to the B, which is also a 13. If you connect them, which is also both. And we're dealing with number 2, because you're going from the A to the B. You know, from the 1 triangle to the 2 triangles. So anyway, getting to this symbol right here, this shit is so deep. When you look at the X here in the middle, you're also dealing with the hourglass. And if you look at that, that looks like the human body. So, this is so deep. When you look at hourglass, the G can also be looked at like a sideways U, and the 7 can also be an L. So you got the L and the U. Like I said, Lucifer, 33, or the 6 cipher. So if you look at hourglass, hour can also be looked at like hourglass, right? So if you look at the G as the LU, glass can also be deciphered as SSAULL. What's the sound of that? Soul. So you can see our soul and hourglass. And then you can also see other correlating things too, which is freaking wild. When you look at, when you think about independence in certain words, exact. So with the AC, we're also dealing with alternating current. God, there's a word I forgot that I wanted to say that had to do with that. It'll come back to me. I might have to repeat this in another stream when I remember that. Sometimes I got things pour into my brain and I have to write them down, and it's always like when I'm driving or on the move. So I wanted to touch on those 2 symbols because with the X and the T, so remember how the C can also be silent. So when you look at the center in the Adam and the Eve, so remember the Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon, could also be looked at as Center the Dragon. which can also be looked at. Dragon can also be spelled as Gardon. And then you can get into other things that I'm not gonna, because my marker's dying, like Valhalla, Hallelujah, and things like that. You can go into Yggdrasil and the Y, which is the 7. And then the garden and dragon, we get guardian, garden, guard, N, guarding the N. So I don't know if the M and the N are interchangeable with the sounds, but there's a vibration, and see, I touched on that, getting into the X and the hourglass. Okay, so when we're dealing with that, to stay on topic here, now the 2 X's. If you look at the word paradigm, get my miles out of this marker here. You're looking at a pair of dimes, right? A pair, or to pair a dime is to put one dime with another dime, so you don't have to use the S. You could say pair a dime. So when you look at paradigm shift, you're looking at paradigm shift, and if you look at the shift, that's a 45-degree angle, which is the 9. I might have to touch on that one again, but getting into this, when you combine these two, hang on. Can't find where I sit, but I remember. So when you look at Moses, right? Moses, which is also M. Moses. Mos and O's is M and N, which splits the 2 C's. You could look at the anatomy and atom. I look at the N and the M. I don't just look at like atoms and all the stuff that I have to do that I can't see or physically experience. So the M and the N is a physical vibration that I'm relating to here. And I might have to end it because I forgot what the hell I was saying. Going with the paradigm shift. And the alternating current, and then we got the CC, which is the constant current, right? So we got AC and we got CC. So Moses split the 2 C's. We're talking about energy, and we got 2 different types of energy, AC, CC. I mean, maybe there's more than that. But DC is direct current, which I believe is the same as CC, constant current. Constant current and direct current, I believe, are the same. I have to correct me if I'm wrong. But I know you get the AC, right? So with the AC, which sounds like AC, you, hang on. So Moses split the 2 C's. C's can be looked at like sideways V's. It's interesting. V and C sounds very similar, right? When you split it with a staff, that's also the symbol we get, which is the 6-pointed star. And it also resembles the center of the alphabet. Another interesting thing too is that's a mirror image of K, which is 11. And if you look at 11, 11 is a mirror because 11 is 2 ones. If you can't see what I'm writing, you can hear what I'm saying. So I forget what you call the symbol, but it's on a lot of ancient caves. And So, and that makes me think about other things like Plato's cave and other stuff, which I'm going to get into later because I'm a little bit tired. And I think I touched on a lot of the points I wanted to. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more stuff I have here that I'm going to get into, but I want to keep it relevant to that Adam and Eve. And talking about the CC and the AC. Another note I just saw is how there's symbolism in certain words, and there's not just one way of looking at it. It's getting in the flow. It's like channeling, and things you see things pop out. One thing I saw too, if you look at like the word circle, we're dealing with the C and the C. That can also be looked at like this. We got to open our minds here. So when you look at that, you have the enclosed, the C. The C and the C makes a circle in the word circle. If you look at the C's the other way. So then you have L at the end. And then you got the I and the R in the middle of the circle, which is a 9 and a 9, which equals 18, which equals 9. So you got 9 in the center of the circle. Damn. And then in the there you get the 8. So I'm gonna have to get into that one, but that's just something I recognize. That's gonna hit me. That's gonna hit me, and I'm gonna go back to some more of these notes. But you know, get into that symbolism with the hourglass, the M and the N, the Adam and the Eve, the 6 and the 7, and that G is the center. That's the G force, the center of gravity. Man, things keep lighting up for me as I get into this. So I look forward to putting more down. It's full moon tonight, and you know, hopefully I get some better. Actually, I hope this came out alright. If this comes out alright, you know, I'm just gonna fine tune it as I go here, and work on my presentations here for elevated minds. Again, you know, it's quality over quantity. I've been kind of dormant on this page because I've been juggling a lot here in my life, but I look forward to getting my channel going for, you know, the right people that want to tune into my stuff, and I look forward to any feedback. Peace. To the next.